I'm Melissa. This is Martin, Haley, and Maddie, and we're cruising America's Great Loop on our boat Cavalier. We welcome you to hop aboard and share in this journey with us.
Hey, child, up and go. A big world is out there waiting for us. I do live in every day. Outside, you will find there is love all around you. It takes you, makes you wanna say that it's a beautiful night. And it's a beautiful world. And it's a beautiful
These Canadians certainly have a sense of humor.
Okay, well, welcome back to the Cavalier for another episode of Cruising Cavaliers. Cheers, baby.
Cheers.
So where we left off, we were in Oswego, New York, and we were waiting for a window to cross over Lake Ontario into Canada. And that's what we did. We were there. We looked at the weather, and on the day we were going, it was predicted to be 1-footers, maybe 1.5s, and that's what we saw out there. So it was a good crossing. The only thing that was a little hard is I had to hand steer almost the whole way, rather than just set it in course follow or heading hold and just let the boat steer itself. The reason is we had following seas and a wind behind us, so everything was pushing the boat, and the boat kind of gets pushed around, and then the autopilot doesn't work all that well. It starts swinging a little bit, and it's just easier to hand steer. But it was another 5 hours straight of hand steering, so it's a little bit of work, but it was a comfortable ride. I mean, it was just, actually we were getting a little push from everything, so it was kind of nice.
Yeah, it was a good crossing.
A good crossing, yes it was. So we ended up pulling into Collins Bay, outside of
It was in Kingston.
Yeah, just a little bit south of Kingston. We could have taken an Uber or something into Kingston, but we were just there one night. But it was a real nice marina, and but it was mainly sailboats. I think there was one other trawler in there, and there was probably like 200 boats in there. So it was mostly sailboats and stuff. But it was cool. Yeah. And the one thing that was really neat about it was it had the best dog park we've been to, and the dogs just loved it. They really did. It was all fenced in. And it was about another half a dozen dogs in there when we went in.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it is, I mean, you go to dog parks and they're fenced in and they can run around, and that's great. But they have this nature trail that you went through, like woods and stuff, and you.
Welcome back to the Bridge of the Cavalier, and let's check in with Captain Melissa and see how things are going. Captain?
Things are going great. Our first cruise day in Canada.
Yoo-hoo!
Yay! It's beautiful. And it's cooled off quite a bit. I'm not sure if it's supposed to heat up in the afternoon, but a little chilly this morning, but it felt kind of good.
Yeah, I almost broke down and put a sweatshirt on.
Yesterday we got in and we cleared customs. It was really super easy. And now we've got our number. And we're headed to, it's about a 65-mile run today up to Trenton, which is the very beginning of the Trent
Waterway. Yeah.
So it should be a pretty easy day.
Yeah. Kind of nice out here. It's funny. It's now we're up in Canada and we're not seeing the smoke.
You know, it's not the smoke down in
everywhere else,
US, but
so
it's blowing that way.
Yeah, they're sending it down to the States, not up here. So it's nice anyway. Really beautiful.
We're
All right.
So we'll check back in later, but
Yeah.
for now, we're just moving along.
Yep. Thanks for coming along. We'll see you later.
It was just really long.
Yeah, it was just a long day, but
Yeah,
it wasn't bad
nice.
at all.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah. So we got down there to Port Trenton, and Port Trent's it's a big marina, and it's a really nice marina. They're on top of it there. They keep everything clean, and they were even going around and pulling the weeds out of the around all the slips and stuff. And they were, I mean, like big old, big things of it.
They had 3 dock hands come over and help us tie our boat up.
Yeah.
And it was like,
yeah,
boom.
and they knew what they were doing too.
Yeah,
it
they
was
did.
really good. It was really good. So the one guy was even. I could hear him tell, because we have our mirror savers on, and I could hear him tell Melissa, we always back in, we always stern into the slips, which makes it a lot more difficult, especially when there's a crosswind, which like there was. And he was saying, okay, make sure keep going, and I was, how I had planned to do it was what he was saying do.
Yeah.
So it's always really good when you have somebody that everything's in agreement here. He thinks I should go really wide, and I think I should go real wide. I think I need to make the turn now. He said make the turn now.
Yeah, so confirming what you were, which
exactly.
is always nice. Yeah.
Exactly. It's really nice, and he clearly knew what he was doing too.
Yeah.
He knew the local knowledge of how to get into slips.
The currents and everything.
So it was good. Anyhow, it's a challenge even still at this point. Stern in, backing into slips is.
And the reason we stern in is because our power is in the back. So we pretty much have to.
Yeah, pretty much have to. So, and it's just easier to tie up and get on and off the boat. If you don't stern in, the back of the boat might not even be on the dock anymore. It might be out in the water. So, it's pretty cool. So anyhow, good marina, and we didn't do a whole lot there. We did walk over. It was a Sunday. We walked over and tried to have lunch with the dogs, and nothing was open. Well, there was. We finally found one restaurant that was open, but they didn't have any. They couldn't. We couldn't have the dogs in there. But right across the street on the river was a little park, and they had picnic tables. So we just got it to go and went over and had.
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It really was. We had a little picnic lunch on the water, watching it. So
fun.
I think it was actually probably better than going into the restaurant.
Yeah, no, it
So
was. It was nice.
a lot of fun. So then we got back to the boat that day, and I decided that we wanted to have some docktails, and because it was a lot of loopers, and it was a lot of loopers coming in. So I said, let's have everybody over to the boat. We'll just have them up on a bridge and everything else like that. So I got on Nebo and started inviting people, and it was maybe 10 boats here.
There's
maybe
a lot.
more, maybe 10, 11, 12 of looper boats here.
Yeah.
And so I got on there, started texting people and inviting them, and figuring, well, several will show up anyway, right?
Yeah.
Everybody showed up.
It was fun.
It was fun, and I had made a whole bunch of plates of cheese and salamis and different stuff, and we had some dips, and we had.
And other than a couple of the loopers, we had never met the other. We'd met I guess a few of them, but we met a lot of new ones, which is always fun.
Yeah, probably way more new ones than we knew. And we ended up, somebody had counted at one point that we had 24 people on the boat.
It's not that big of a boat.
I know, and
it's
actually,
pretty big, but
and down here in the salon, which is really pretty big, I was down here with two couples
people,
once, and so everybody was upstairs. I think we got a good picture of it too at one point.
We did, yeah.
And it was pretty fun, but it was really fun.
It was fun.
We had that night, and then the next night, one of the other boats was there. This real nice lady. She organized another Docktails. And it was kind of a dual purpose one. It was do Docktails, but also plan how we were going to start the Trent Severin, because there was, with this many boats, there was like 10 boats were leaving the next day.
Right.
And it's kind of, some boats were going way farther and some boats weren't going as far. So the idea was to let the boats that are going far go first, because we were going through the locks like 2, maybe 3 boats at a time.
Depends on the size of your boat, but I know when we were going with kayak, we're 48. I don't know what they are, but they're a
They're
good
about the
sized
same.
boat.
Yeah.
And so they could only take 2.